Let me just ask you, do you have something you want to talk to for about 8 minutes to get started on this? And then we'll pick it up in the middle of our meeting somewhere. Or just wait and start it.
I mean, it's up to the council. We could table this till this particular work session till next month. It's not super time sensitive. It would be nice to make sure we have enough time for it, to have a thorough conversation.
Even if it went into our regular meeting?
I mean, we could, just
But
want to be
again,
cognizant of
we
the
may
time
not
we
have-
have for our, the rest of the meeting that we have. But we could spend probably 15, 20 minutes in the regular meeting and see if we can get through the rest of the stuff as well. It's up to the council on that one.
Would it be better to wait and try to start it in the regular meeting if we feel that we have time and go as much as we can versus start 8 minutes now and then 15 minutes then, or just start now?
I guess the advantage is like you get started.
Yeah, we do have people
Earlier.
here that are probably here for that to a degree. So if they're here to hear us talk about it, then we should probably start on that. If you want to at least give us an 8-minute
Yeah.
introduction of what we went through, and then we can start our meeting and probably pick up after
Okay.
consent agenda somewhere in there, maybe. I
I
don't
want to
wanna
call the
hold-
work session to order, Mayor.
Yeah, we got, you ready, Susan? I'm gonna call the work session to order March 16th at 6:53. We are here to talk about level of service, and Assistant City Manager NJ Johnson, if you take the staff presentation.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, so moving into this pretty quickly. So we've been working as a group lately to try and right size the general fund, both the expense side and the revenue side. Today, we're going to be looking at level of service and the expense side. When we discussed this last, you all gave us direction to sort of operate on the general understanding that we are going to be spending our revenue, or our expenses at a scenario 2 level of service. So this is what we called quality operations. It's above bare bones, and it's a little below aspirational, like what a 10 out of 10 A+ city would do. But it does the right things that cities need to do, trains employees, all the kind of groups that we want to be involved with, and then some ability to go, if a park property becomes available, not be so financially strained that we can't do that if that's the right decision for the community. So within that discussion as well, we went over the different sort of more discretionary, more public facing items of the general fund. This was things like level of service for police, economic development committee meetings, Greater Portland Inc., annual town meeting, those types of topics. We had some discussion about the benefit of those, but then ultimately you all asked us to go out to the community and get some more engagement. And so we did just that at the annual town meeting last weekend, and had a breakout activity after the mayor's State of the City address. And we had 39 participants there across 8 different groups. And what we asked them to do is all of those discretionary items that you all wrestled with and thought through and had feedback on, we asked them to do the very same thing. So what things do they want to see their city government support? I'm going to pull up the report here. Excuse me, just transitioning between meetings. We had some pretty general consensus on a few items, those items being nuisance abatement, annual town meeting, and emergency management. There was some mixed support on, I kind of grouped them together in the staff report, Chamber of Commerce, Greater Portland Inc., and Economic Development Committee meals. Those were mainly to see if there's any duplication or, if one's more necessary than the others. But there was an acknowledgement even from the residents that participated that they saw the dollar amounts. Those $1,200-ish items are not going to change the general fund one way or another. The second item was Earth Day and Summer Festival activities. So these, we provide them separately, but together it's $11,500 for these events that you all have given out in previous years. We got some feedback that the events feel very similar. They're very close together on the calendar. They have a lot of the same community groups that participate. and also that they receive community enhancement program grant funds. So they're sort of like double dipping in what they can get from this. So there was that component of feedback. And then about the community enhancement program, which is about $42,000. We had a lot of suggestions to reduce this to 20,000. There were also some folks that suggested limiting it to not just nonprofits that do work in Scappoose, but nonprofits that are truly based in Scappoose. Another nonprofit criteria would be looking at your annual budget. And if you have a huge annual budget, is a $5,000 grant really something that you need the city's support on? And then on the senior center, which we currently have budgeted for 20,000, we haven't given them this in, I believe, 2 years. And a lot of that really was to get the senior center going again with getting their audits and receipts and accounting back up to standard. They've really gotten going in the right direction, as you all have heard in your updates on that recently. So there was a big concern at the annual town meeting about do they even need this? What's it for? Can they just go to the community enhancement program? So suggested either eliminating or reducing the amount to 10,000. There were even members of the senior center who said, like, we don't need this anymore. So that was good to hear. And then on the topic of police level of service, and one note I want to make on this is we've been talking about this a lot in terms of the FTE, you know, if it's 12 or 14 or 16, but these are kind of shorthand ways to describe the level of service. And so we want to be, when we're talking about police level of service, we really want to say more, what are the outcomes you all are looking for as a council and a community, more than the exact amount of officers and what positions and titles they'll hold, because that's really for the chief and city manager here to figure out. And so the 12 and 14 kind of give us like an easy way, like we know what you mean when you say 14, but we should start phrasing that more in a sense of what do you want your police department to serve in terms of 24/7 coverage? Is that a priority? The ability to handle different types of crime that might lead the chief to hire a detective, but versus saying, we want you to hire a detective. The support from that, though, we did pull it on in terms of FTE, was pretty scattered. The majority supported, or the plurality supported 14 officers. So that would increase our budget by 2 officers. We currently have budgeted for 12, and then we have 10 on staff in the police department right now. And then I think that's good timing for me to hold off until the body of the meeting.
Okay. Okay. We'll stop that and we'll start up again in a second, Kim.